Yes, sir. Yeah. We're back at it again, sir. Yes, we are. Yes. The shenanigans continue. Yet, once again, this government is showing us who they are. More importantly, we're finding out who we are. Another day, another dollar. The circus it continues. The carnival is here. What do we do? I mean, gosh, government shut down. Stocks at all-time high. Everyone's losing their jobs. People are getting furloughed. Some people are saying they're not going to come back to work. Um, the government is trying to withhold billions of dollars from specific cities for political reasons, but the stock market is at an all-time high. Nasdaq all-time high, S&P 500 all-time high. The Dow Jones is at an all-time high. Goodness gracious. What do we do with this information? More importantly, where do we stand and who are we to these people? At the end of the day, um, do they care if we are homeless? Do they care if we have health insurance or not? Do they care if we have a pre-existing condition that requires some, medication that is given by the government at a subsidy, and we're not going to be able to get it now, at least not at that subsidy, and we're going to have to come out of pocket and pay for it, outright, because guess what? The government just can't get it together. However, hey man, look, Nvidia all-time highs, Nasdaq all-time highs, Dow Jones all-time highs. What are we doing? Hurry, hurry, hurry. Step right up. Come on, guys, and buy our stocks at 52-week highs, all-time highs. Some of them. It's nothing to see here, kids. Keep it moving. Buy your stocks and keep it moving because nothing is wrong. There is no unemployment. There is no government shutdown. It's just business as usual here. It's just awesome. Good morning, my fellow simpletons and degenerates, scallywags, and ne'er-do-wells. I hope you guys are doing great. I hope you guys are having a great morning, and I hope you guys are making money. Let's see, who do we got here? We got Beach Boy in the house. Beach Boy, how you doing, my friend? Good morning. Shalom. Austin is in the house. Jude K is in the house. Jay Gill is in the house. They're all saying good morning. Charlie C2. Morning Savage. Good morning, all. B-Trump's in the house. Zeta State saying Uncle Savage. Jude K saying they don't care at all. They don't, dude. They really don't. Mando saying let's go. Mando number 5. And Jeff Glass is in the house. Ken's mom is in the house. We can begin now because Ken's mom is here. Good morning, friends. I hope you guys are making money this morning. I know I am. I woke up to the news that GME, the options button is off. They turned it off. So I can't see my cash secure puts. I can't see calls and stuff like that on Robinhood. Weebles is weird, and the only one that seems like it's trying is Charles Schwab. So I still don't have any warrants, but it's to be expected since today is kind of like the record date. I know some people are starting to begin to see their warrants, their GME warrants, in their brokerage folders, right? Their portfolios, and so we're trying to see what's going on. I think it's hilarious, by the way, because you're kind of seeing, little bit of shenanigans going on here and there, right? But again, this is something that caught them flat-footed, and they're trying their best not to get caught. I don't know if you guys saw the chart this morning. I don't know if you guys are much into graphs, but all that red on GME, and then out of nowhere, all these green candles just show up as soon as market opens. Actually, it went to like $25 for a second there, and people just said, "Shit, it's on sale," and then just big green candles everywhere. Good to see. It's encouraging. I can't, for the life of me, do anything about cash secure puts, and so just it doesn't matter because I had them out to like. Um, At this point, I bought back my October ones, and I have some for November and some for December. I'm sorry, for November and for January. So that's where I'm at as far as that. They're all green, and I'm expecting for them to die worthless. So I'm gonna see what happens as far as that. These guys have to come up with 10 warrants for every 100 shares, right? So if you have 1,000 shares, that's 100 warrants they got to give you. Basically, a 10%, nice little percentage that they're giving you for holding GME, right? And they also filed some paperwork, and people that don't know better are thinking, "Oh my God, dilution," but that's not what's going on. They're just raising more cash. Basically, GME just went online and they put in paperwork to just basically say, "Yeah, we want a lot more cash." So they're already at almost $10 billion, right? If not 10 billion with a B dollars cash on hand. And it's amazing because they went from being in the red and literally being in debt $1.5 billion to having $10 billion cash on hand. And we're talking here, all the cash that they have plus no debt. They have they have crypto. I mean, just there alone, right? And what is their end game? Is their end game to become the next Berkshire Hathaway? It's very likely, because they're going to be a holding company at that point, right? And I mean, collectibles are bringing them in a lot of money, and those are starting to come in. Are we going to show a lot of that movement during these next quarterly earnings in December 9th? I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing those numbers because I think the street is giving us 13 to 15% cents earnings per share. I think we're closer to 25 to 30. And then at that point we're starting to speak multiples, right? And so how many times earnings, forward earnings, are we going to trade at? That analyst that was covering GME, and gave him a $13 price target. She's gone. She's fucking out of there. Nobody's ever gonna take her seriously, ever. Right? I think that she may have given Palantir a $200 price target, $250 or something insane. So it's like you have a company that is all cash, no debt, and making profits and making ridiculous amounts of profits, and you have a company that's trading like 1,000 times forward earnings. It's just like losing money, burning through cash. I mean, they are making a lot of money, but they're also burning through cash crazily. And so, look, let's see what happens. They have until today at 5 p.m., 4 p.m. to iron everything. I assure you that there's some favors are getting done today. They're probably going to give them to like 11:59 p.m. Right? So we'll see how these things work out. I'm very, very excited to see what Monday and Tuesday bring about. Right? Because Monday is kind of like the day for everything to settle, and then Tuesday people get their warrants. Like they have to have their warrants by Tuesday. So let's see what happens. I'm very interested to see what's going on. I'm very interested to get my warrants. And as far as GME, I think the clock is ticking for these guys. They went from kicking the can down the road and just saying, synthetic shares, whatever. Let's kick the can down the road. I am very curious to see, and I think I told you guys before, that what I think they're doing is the reason why you can't trade options right now is because they're seeing how many people sold covered calls expiring maybe next week, the week after, the month after maybe January even. And if they're in the money, they're going to exercise them. And I'm willing to bet my left ball that they may exercise some that are not in the money. I think they may risk going up to like 30 and saying, you know what, this person got $3 in premium. This person got $200 in premium for those 30, 29 strikes, 28 strikes. Let's just exercise them so that they can come up with the shares. I think that's what's going on. And I'm very interested to see just, how many people end up getting exercised this weekend on their contracts, even if they're like $30 covered calls that you sold out to like November or October, the 19th, December, January. I think a lot of those are going to get exercised because they have to come up with the shares, and they're going to lose money. They're like, you know what? We're willing to lose $10 billion, $5 billion, so that they don't have to go in front of the SEC and perhaps lose licenses and perhaps lose a lot more money. Because it's not, I assure you, it's not really the money as much as it is the licenses. Because if they lose their fucking licenses, it's a wrap. Anyways, it's just, obviously, this is just a theory, right? I based on everything we know, based on the fact that these guys created maybe half a billion or a billion synthetic shares. The warrants have to be accounted for, the shares have to be accounted for. These clowns are done. They got caught. RC put them in a situation where they have to put up or shut up. They wanted to play games, and this is it. They got greedy, just like Open Door. These clowns got greedy, right? They wanted to crush it. They wanted to crush Open Door to nothingness. That they got the shares for like 55, 57 cents a share. That's how low they went. And so now they got to pay the piper, man. They got to pay the piper, and they have to come up, with with the cash. Open Door is 853 right now. I think Open Door was like around 770, 780. When I was telling you guys earlier in the week, hey, sell some $7 cash secure puts out to November. Bring in some couple of dollars, like $1.75, $2, something like that. I was telling people, hey, $6 cash secure puts if you think that 7 is too close for comfort, right? Right now you could be closing them. I told you guys about I believe QUBT not too long ago. I think Monday or Tuesday, right? And QUBT was down to like $18 or something, and I said, guys, I'm selling some $19 cash secure puts out to January, and I'm bringing in like 430, 420, 430, something like that. I just bought those back for 250. QUBT is up. It's run like 21% in the last few days. So what does that mean? That means that I saw that I'm down near 40%, return on investment right now in days. I don't have to wait until January. I just closed those right now, 250. I got 430 for them, close at 250, make 180. 10 of them. What's that? That's $1,800. $1,800 in days, not weeks, in days. Now I don't have to wait a couple, 3, 4, 5 months, 3, 4 months for those contracts to lose the last 45, 60%. I mean 60, 55%. Why? I can just take money off the table right now, and then I could put that cash elsewhere, right? And that's what I did. I saw that BMNR went down a little taste. I got some more RKT cash secure puts, and then I used that put cash to buy BMNRT. I can't even talk right now. let's see, BMNR. I saw some $55 strikes, but this time expiring January. I bring like $1,350 or something like that, and right into my account right now. It's a couple of those, and then I use that money to go straight in and buy shares at market price, and just hoarding shares. I'm trying to get 1,000 shares, guys. I'm almost there. I'm halfway there, a little bit over. Trying to get to like 1,000 shares of BMNR, and then just hoard it and just hold it, And then I've already started selling covered calls. I think I sold some 70 strikes for, I don't know, I want to say like $1,000 a couple of days ago. Those are down. The data's decaying so fast on those. There were November strikes, but the data's decaying really quick. Great. And I think one of those, I actually, just for shits and giggles, when BMNR ran a bit this morning, I said, let me see if this actually happens. I rolled a 70 strike to a 100 strike in January, and someone gave me $150. I got $150 to roll from 7,000 to 10,000, and I got paid. I did it just for shits and giggles, just to see if this is in fact going to work. Because it seemed like it was gonna, like I saw the bid, the ask, I was like, let me see if this fucking works. Is that real? And it triggered. What? I got paid $150 to basically get paid an extra $3,000 by giving away a couple of months. What is a couple of months to me? I own the shares. So like I bought them, like my average is $53, right? So if I sell at 100, I'm making $47 per share. What? Are you crazy? Are you serious? That's insane. And I'm just like, oh yeah, and you're gonna pay me for that? So overall, I got paid over $1,100 for this covered call. That's wild. That's crazy. All right, what do we got? What do we got here, my friends? What do we got? Ken's mom's in the house. Charlie C2. Class trade options are off also. Charlie C2 saying for GME. Mando saying, don't confuse me with Mambo number 5. That's right. CKT's in the house. We can start. Morning all. Wing Commander saying hello there. What it is, Tolan? How you doing, brother? I hope you're doing great. I hope you're making money. Zeta States is saying, if I buy more GME today, do we still qualify for the warrants today? Yeah, today is the last day. Yeah, I think it's not too late. I think today is the last day. You have to have them by today. And then, everything's going to get settled on Monday, and Tuesday you should be able to get your warrants. I think that's the big blocks of green we saw, because, GME got hit in the morning, right? Early. And it got to like $25 and change. And they were like, are you fucking serious? People like you and I, right? We were like, what? It's on sale. Give me some more. And so, yeah, that's what's happening. And right now, where are we at? Let's see here, my fellow simpletons. GME is $26.50. Look at that. We're up $1.50 since this morning. So, what they're trying to kill it under 27. I don't know what they're trying to do, but very curious to see. Friday, GameStop shares fall 2.44% Friday on dilution fears after filing for new securities offering. It's securities offering. They're just going to raise more money. That's what good companies do. GameStop filed mixed shelf registration along future sales. A lot of future sales of a common stock, preferred stock, debt, and warrants. They just want to make sure people get paid for warrants. They want to make sure they can raise more money. What if what they're doing is they're making it easier for them to raise more money and opening the possibility for more warrants once these warrants expire, which we have a year, right? And then next year they'll come up, when these expire, and say, guess what? For Christmas, guys, you guys have till December. You'll get another 10%. And they'll say, for Christmas, you'll have some more warrants. It's going to be beautiful. I think Cohen has got him by the little short curlies, man. Kilua Dre is in the house. He's saying, good morning, friends. Let us stay safe. Bye-bye, more you today. Until qualify. Well, yes. Today from Legoland, having fun with my kid and making money. Dude, that is beautiful, man. Wing Commander, yes, you're at Legoland with your kid, chilling, and you're making money at the same time as you're watching him play and have a great time, create some great core memories. Man, that's awesome. I love to see that. I love to see that. From what I understand, it's the shares owed at the end of the day. So if you buy more shares today, they are included. Um, Dude says, I'm all cash secure puts on GME. It's all good. Juan Velasquez says, what's up, Savage and the whole gang? Hope everyone is good. We landed last night and glad to be back at home. I'm sure it's bittersweet to you, Juan. I'm sure it's bittersweet because, Spain is beautiful. Spain is awesome. And coming back home, of course it's home, and then there's that, you have to get your body, right, has to get used to like the time change again and all that. But I think, yeah, it's always good to be home. Welcome back, my friend. Tom Kaufman saying, good morning, Savage. Juan Velasquez is saying, I have to write a few BMNRs, SoFi's 25 January 27th, RKT, and open $10 covered calls, making money. You're just making money hand over fist. It's all good. That's how you do it. Resolve. RZLV got 2 analysts upgrade this week and had a good earnings report on October the 1st. Raised APR up nicely. So I saw that. It was one of them on the to watch list, right? And I saw that, man. It's just, we are in so many stocks, right? We have the Savage 20, and then you guys have your own babies, and I think that's great, man. I mean, that's great. I do have some to watch, and I watch my watch list. It's like everything is green, which has to kind of set off an alarm or two in your head, right? Your little spidey sense kicking in. Everything is green. Everything is green. What does that tell you? When was the last time that just everything seemed to be green? No matter what stock you could have fucking throw like a dart at a board with all these names of any stock, and you throw the dart, buy that stock that the dart landed in, and then you'll make money. It's just, when did that happen last? I want to just ask you that question. And then what happened? Right? So just saying. There's a reason that we go and buy. You go and buy stock through cash secure puts on days that it's been hit pretty hard, and then you go a strike zone below that, a couple of months, get paid a nice chunk of change. We get paid dollars, not cents, and then we get paid to buy the stock. Worst case scenario, you get your money back, your collateral, because the cash secure put you sold is out of the money on the date of expiry, and then here's your money back. Boo-hoo, you made money. You do it again until you put those shares into your account. BPCY is saying, anyone know what happens with cash secure puts GME with warrants if exercised? Say I wrote 10 GME 27 expiries January 22/6. Just wondering whether I need to get out today. I wouldn't worry about your GME cash secure puts, man. They're not going to exercise you, because what they'd be doing is they'd be putting the shares to you. They don't want to put the shares to anybody. They want the shares, meaning they're exercising covered calls, right? That's what I think is going to happen. They're going to even exercise calls that are out of the money. What's going to happen to you is that there's maybe no risk for you to get your shares. They may just give you your collateral back, so that they can just settle everything and be like, okay, all the fucking cash secure puts, give them their money, give them back their collateral. So they know that the whole slate is wiped clean, right? They don't have to worry about that. Now they go to covered calls, and they're like, all right, what do we need? How many do we need? 50 million GME shares? Fuck. All right, what does that mean? Okay, that's 50,000 covered calls. So yeah, they got caught, man. Let's see here. Juan Velasquez saying got filled on open $10 and got 142 for 11.21 strikes. Beautiful. That's how you do it, my friend. $10, you're receiving 142. That's 14.2% back. What is wrong with that? Nothing. Susan Shop saying, am I late? No, you're not. We're just starting. Juan Velasquez is saying planning on next year now and paying with those credit card points. That's how you do it, man. I just opened up a new credit card. It's the I was on the wait list for the Robinhood Gold card, and I just ended up, for like a week I've been receiving these when I'm trading, and it just shows up, and I just like, let me just trade, and then finally I was like, oh, you know what? It's a good credit card, and um, they give me 3% back on everything. It's all across the board spend, right? So gas, groceries, whatever. I get back 3%. And so there's sometimes that I have specific credit cards, like my gold card, right? The American Express gold card I use for groceries and for restaurants, because they give me 4 points in every dollar spent on groceries and restaurants. And then and 3 on travel. Uh, then I have my platinum card. It gives me back 5% for every dollar spent on traveling, right? So whenever I travel via airlines, any type of travel, I get 5x, and it gives me a ridiculous amount of money back. Like, it's just the there's this thing that I like to call the price versus the cost, right? So like, what is the price of what I'm paying as far as an annual fee, right? And then but what am I receiving out of it, right? So like, yeah, I pay $800 a year for the annual fee, but if I get $2,000, $1,500 back on different subsidies, I get money back through Uber Eats or Uber. They give me back $25 for every month. I give back $25 for having the Disney Channel and the Hulu and ESPN combo. The Wall Street Journal. They give me back, let me see, $7 every month on Dunkin' Donuts. Sorry, that's the gold card. That's the gold card. But let me see. Lululemon, I get a $75 credit every 3 months for Lululemon. My wife shops at Lululemon, so I just give her my card. She goes shopping, and she gets like a $75 credit, which is like a pair of socks or whatever at Lululemon, right? But anyway, so like, she likes the brand, and it's all good. We shop there anyway, and then we get back let's see, $100 every quarter on Resi restaurants. Like, you don't even have to do anything. You just go and enroll. So the program, there's a lot of restaurants that you can that are Resi restaurants in the city. So like, we'll just go, and there's a Italian place called Flour and Water, they got a Michelin star or two, and it's really close to the house. And then we walk there, and it's amazing Italian. It's just everything's they have a wood fire up, and it's the taste of the food is just excellent. The chefs are excellent, and then there's different places around. There's a steakhouse or two. There's some Japanese spots, and there's just a lot. So basically, I end up getting like $1,500 to $2,000, from those credits on the credit card. So like, I end up actually making money. Not to even mention that, if we travel, we can use the Centurion Lounge with that credit card. And, what does that mean? Well, that means that I get free food. There's like a nice little area where there's food available. They have bars, and there's top shelf liquor, spirits that are available. And my wife likes her mimosas, so she'll go through 3 or 4 mimosas when we travel. Because traveling with 3 kids makes you want to drink mimosas, right? So I get my nice a couple of shots myself, where I'll drink some bubbly, and it's all free. It's all free. Like, any airport lounge you go to, and you spend money in a meal and some drinks, that's like $50 to $100, right? These lounges, the Centurion Lounge, some of them have nice little quiet areas where you can go. They have meditation rooms. Some have showers. In Japan, in Haneda at least, there's a shower. There's like a massaging area where they give you massages. It's awesome. I mean, it's all about comfort, right? And so like you got to pay $800 a year for this credit card. You get all this out of it. It's a no-brainer, you know. And so anyway, but you rack up points, and to your point, yeah, like I get all these points, and then eventually I transfer them out, to like travel partners, and then I travel for free. I stay at the Waldorf Astoria for free. I have all these points, and so like we'll stay, because I have a credit card again that gives me diamond status. My fifth night with Hilton is free. So like if I do, make a reservation for 5 days, I only pay for 4. So Waldorf Astoria included. And because I am a diamond member, I don't pay any taxes or fees. And I received a credit of $60 a day to eat there. It's a food credit, food and beverage. So like any restaurant, like it's just crazy. And in every dollar spent, I get 34 points back on every dollar spent. So if I spent $1,000 or $2,000, $1,000 would bring me 34,000 points. What? That's a lot of points, and that helps me, accrue some more points so that I can stay, at the Waldorf Astoria again. So yeah, that's how you do it, my friends. Not to mention that I get a free night certificate, with those credit cards for staying at any Conrad or Waldorf Astoria. It's a great fucking travel hack, man. So, all right, let's see here. How might Juan Velasquez saying planning for next year to play with credit card points? That's how you do it. Plus the protections. I've never had an issue whenever I pay with my gold card or my American Express Platinum card, and something happens, and I call and I say, hey, these guys are not trying to give me my money back. I lost the receipt. I can prove that I have bought this or purchased this item with the credit card, and then they have something called purchase protection. They'll just return me my money, and then they're like, keep the item. What? Or if I want to dispute a charge, right, and these guys are being hard-headed, they'll just return me my money, and then they'll put a block on that establishment so they don't even mess with me again. So it's just great. It's just all the protections you get. It's insane, man. So Wing Commander said, follow your lead, Savage, and Rose from Cover Coast on AI. That's how you do it, my friend. I actually had bought a lot of calls expiring in 2027. And I bought them for like, I want to say like $1.10 or something like that. And I sold them this morning for like I want 270 or something. So I made a lot of money, and I used that money to go into BMNR and then do cash secure puts. And then those cash secure puts brought me money, that I can do cash secure puts on RKT. And then I brought that money to buy BMNR at market price and RKT at market price. It's just a never-ending wheel of just expanding the portfolio, my friends. That's how you do it. Juan Velasquez saying got filled on the open $10 and got 142. That's beautiful. Wing Commander saying, well, I actually short strangle for better premium. It's all good. Juan Velasquez, we will head out to Barcelona and San Sebastian area. Spain is just beautiful. Life is just great over there. Yeah, it's one of the countries we're looking to move into, man. If things get really stupid here in the U.S., we're just going to rent the house, and we're going to move to Spain for a couple of years. And, my kids love soccer, and I would love for them to play club soccer in Spain, because it's a whole different thing, right? And I know my daughter would be really, really good. She's really good. Let's see here. Wing Commander saying $25 cover cost and $17.50 catch your puts expiring January 26th for 304. Dude, those $17.50s were giving like $5 at a point. Not too long. I was telling people $5, $5.50 for those $17.50 cash your puts expiring January. I was like, guys, this is a free money. And I don't know. Some people, it's like, I'm not telling people what to do, but I'm like, here's some information. If you want to make some money, it's pretty much a cash grab. C3.ai had no business in the $13 land and the $14 land. It's going back to 20. I told you guys, it's going back to 20. So we'll see what happens. In the meantime, I'm making money. That is so cool and bringing business to SoFi. I like that. So, yep. Let's see here. Wing Commander saying $25 cover calls. Buy shares for 14 or sell for 28. Count me in. Wing Commander, I agree. That's I love choking the shit out of stock like that. That's what I'm doing. BMNR. BMNR. I'm $55 cash secure puts averaging like $13, right? So essentially, I'm buying the shares at 43, $42, something like that. And I sold, $70 covered calls that I got like $1,000 for. And so, between 70 and 42, that's that big ass gap, right? That window, that channel, I like it. It's free money. I like it. Dude is in the house. Hey, let's go. Switch to the put side on some of my MSTR positions. Profit a good $3,000 this morning now at the 290, 140 days out on the cash secure put. Got another 1985 for that put. Boom! That's how you do it, my friend. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Lucky 13, JJ. Thumbs up, my friends. Come on. There's like 40 people in here at a point. I see 15 thumbs up. What is going on? BPCY saying thanks out for the cash secure put warrant answer, no doubt. Karen D saying good morning. Charlie C2 is saying, Juan, the wife and I are planning a March break vacation to Barcelona. Really looking forward to it. Yeah, make sure you hit up Sagrada Familia. Sagrada Familia is like this giant cathedral that they've been building for like 100-something years. And it's amazing. It's just amazing. And when you go in and you marvel at the architectural savvy of I think Gaudí was the person that started that project, and he knew that even while he was alive, he was not going to live to see the end. But he had everything structured and everything. His plans were there, and he found people that are going to follow them to the T. And it's just amazing seeing that, the architecture. It's beautiful, especially if you go out to like the Barceloneta area in Barcelona. It's wonderful. You're by the beach, right? And then you get off of the beaten path, and there's so many restaurants there that are just insanely good. But you have to get off of the touristy area, right? You go to Ciudad Gótica, which translates to the Gothic city, right? It's beautiful. Like fucking everything is Gothic, and it's a trip because you get transported to like medieval times. The Picasso Museum is right. It's just great. Barcelona's wonderful. It really is wonderful. It reminds me of San Francisco a lot. So yeah, no, Barcelona's great, man. Dude is saying I'm sitting in $15 cash secure puts on AI out 456. 56 days, I'm guessing. 1/15/2027 got 350 for them. After the position of pullbacks. Kind of, yeah, I mean, I know what you're doing. It is free money, dude. But you would get so much more premium if you did like $20 cash secure puts or $25 cash secure puts out to 2027. AI is not gonna stay here, man. But then again, dude, you know what? It's good. If you just want to sit on the cash and you just want to get the premium, I get it. It's just instead of having a savings account, that's where you're at. That's perfect. I see no problem. Points are paying for the airfare and gamblers paying for the hotel. Hey, you can get a credit card that can give you some free nights, and then that way the gamblers are, the points would pay for everything. Just saying. Don't be scared to look at the Hilton Aspire card. It's got a $550 fee, but it gives you so much money back. I think every 6 months you get $250 back if you spend it at Hilton. So essentially, you're getting $500 back right away over that annual fee. So if you were to stay 2 times a year at a Hilton or a Hilton property, right, you can use that. Say you redeem some points and the free night certificate they give you, and then you stay there a couple of nights, and then you use your credit card to pay for whatever. It could be room service. It could be at a restaurant. It could be like amenities, anything. Um, and you pay with that credit card. Say you get charged $400 or whatever, you'll get a $250 credit, and you also get free breakfast, or let me rephrase that. You're gonna get like a 50-$60 credit, depending on the property, right? For food and beverage that comes with that card. It's pretty cool, man. The Hilton Aspire card is honestly, to me, the best card. Points are paid for the idea. Susan Shop says, I don't understand. I was holding two GME Leap calls, thinking they remain normal calls. Fidelity now shows them as non-standard adjusted option GME 1. Can anyone explain to me? It's just basically saying that it's that your calls are for GME shares, not for the warrants. I'm imagining that the warrants are probably going to show as GME 2. So it's just they switched the name. I wouldn't think anything of it. But, again, you could just call Fidelity and ask them to explain. They probably have a way better explanation than the dumb explanation I just gave you, right? And they'll let you know exactly how things are going to be with them, because I'm sure every brokerage is going to be different. Jude K is saying, so 1 or 2 mimosas per kid. That's about it. Two mimosas per kid. Good morning, says Hector. Dude is saying, thanks, Savage. Let's go. Juan Velasquez, if you head out to Madrid, Savage, go to the smoke room in the Hyatt Hotel in the Chamberí area. It's Michelin rated. Place that they treat you like a king during the meal. Chef is Danny Garcia from Peru. All right. I'll note that. Thank you, brother. Juan Velasquez saying, yeah, I figured. In Barcelona, also recommend Tapas Crawl. Okay. I have my own restaurants in Barcelona because we spent a month there. We left for like a couple of months. That was my gift to my wife when she graduated college. It's just like a European trip, a Europe trip. And then we honestly stayed mainly in Spain. We went to like Switzerland. We went to Belgium. But we stayed in Barcelona a long time because we just really liked it. We were like, we're just going to stay here. And then I was staying at Airbnb then because this was a long, long time ago. And when Airbnb was cheap, and I talked to the host, and I said, hey, listen, can I just stay an extra couple of weeks at your place instead of paying Airbnb? How about I pay you cash? And then we do this the good old-fashioned way. We shook hands. He said, keep the key a couple of more weeks. And he gave me a great discount. I honestly like a 50% off type of discount, right? Because he said I don't have to pay, fees to Airbnb. He's like, you treated my place very nice, and I don't see a problem. He's like, stay here in a couple of weeks, and then he would give me pointers as to where to go and eat, and he's like, this is where the locals really go to, and we went to the theater. Oh my God, we had a great time. I love Barcelona, man. Juan Velasquez says, Savage, I wrote 4 RX way back last month. Should I roll to 550? What is the expiry on those? And why don't you just take money off the table? Why don't you just buy them back? Those 4s are probably worth like 50-60% less. Just take money off the table, and then go to January 5s or January. I'd say January. Do you want the stocks? Do you really want the shares, or do you want to just the premium, and maybe worst case scenario you get put the shares? That's another thing. Because if you really, really want RX, you could do a $6 cash secure puts expiring, January, and then bring in a lot of premium. So it's up to you. You could do 5s out to April. I don't know. There's so many ways to go about it, right? Your calls on GME just can't be closed today without assistance. The same dude. Yeah, it's all good. I'm not trying to close them. I'm not trying to close those cash secure puts at all. I have no calls. I told you guys, I have nothing written on GME. Nothing. I am all in just shares at this point. My average on them is $13. So like I'm very curious to see how things pan out. That's all. And as somebody who's been through it with GME, um, it means nothing to me at this point. It's just I need to see 30, 35, and then I'll sell some $40 covered calls maybe, or some 35s in the money, and then we bring in like $4 or $5 per share. I'm ready to get taken out, man. I've been getting premiums through GME for years, and it's I just want the money at this point. It's a cash grab, and I do I know why I got into it, and I just want the cash because at this point I could do so many other things with the cash, right? So I'm gonna sell the warrants. I'm probably gonna keep the warrants, and then just see how how things progress, and then if they go into money, just how coveted they are, and then maybe go that route. But for the most part, I can definitely take my GME shares back, and the money at least. I mean, and then just put that money elsewhere. Like right now, GME is 26.63, BMNR is 55, $56. I could just put this money, several tens of thousands of dollars. I could put that money to the BMNR, and I just see that as having more of a future. Not to say that the GME does not have a future; it absolutely does. It's just that in the next year, I just see BMNR just exploding a lot more than GME. Does that make sense? So like I have to go where the opportunity is. This is why I tell you guys all the time. No matter what the market is saying or doing, no matter what these knuckleheads up, politicians, idiots are saying or doing, um, look at what's going on in the market. Look, what is the stock telling you, right? You know, people can say, well, what if, what if, what if? Like, no, what do you know for sure, right? What is it that you know for sure? We don't know what's going to happen with SoFi, but we know for sure 100% that right now it's 24, 25, 41. And if you was to sell a $25 cash secure put expiring January 2026, you could bring in $318. That's what we know for sure, my friends. That is 100% what we know for sure. We can't deal with what ifs. We can't deal with hypotheticals. We got to deal with fucking facts and what the market is telling us. What is it telling us? Right now, the market is telling me that C3.ai is 1896. And if I wanted to sell some covered calls on C3.ai, I could go to December 19th and sell some 2250s for $136. That I know for a fact, right? Do you want to play in the cash secure put land? Today it's a green day. I wouldn't advise to go into C3.ai for cash secure puts, but Unity, it was just 55, 56, $57. I was telling people to sell some 60s. Sell some 60s out to generate. You could have brought in $7, $8, $9 a share. Right? I was saying, you want to risk, not getting called away to 65s. 65s for April. Bring again $6, $7, $8, $9 a share. Right now it's $38. It's down from 52, $53, right? So what do? Well, you say, I really like Unity Savage. What if I sold some, it's at 38 right now. Would you mind buying it at 38? And you're like, no. So then you're like, oh, I'm like, okay, well, $38 cash secure put expiring January brings you $535 right now. What's wrong with that? Do you feel like you want them at 35? Well, then sell some $35 cash secure puts. Bring in $375 for your troubles. For buying the shares at 35, essentially, you're getting paid $375, but in reality, you're buying at 31.25. What is wrong with that? The stock was just at 50, 55. It showed you the stock was just at 52, at $46. The stock was just at 46.94, 47. So it shows you that it's at least $47, right? That's what it's worth. It can be based on everything, right? So then you will be buying it $15 cheaper than that. What is wrong with that? And then you see what happens, right? get placed them shares and see if you get the shares. Then you go through covered calls. Whatever you want to do, man, it's there. It's just you got to look at what the stock market is giving you. We're not timing the market. That's just silly. Nobody knows. Look at Riot. Riot is 20.64 right now. Remember when I was telling you guys to sell $12 cash secure puts, $11 cash secure puts on Riot, and they were giving like $2-3 a share. It's $20.61 right now, right? Open door. I was telling you guys $6-7 cash secure puts, $6 cash secure puts. Look at PROP decided to wake up today, which is nice. Rocket is down to 1768. Again, not worried about it, right? Right now, I just go to January 16, 2026. $18 cash secure puts bring you 261 right now, right? What is wrong with that? Nothing at all. You're getting paid to buy a stock that's really, really good. Right now, it's just figuring itself out, and people are consolidating. They're thinking they're taking a profit, or people are just like dumb enough not to understand what just happened. They just united with another company, right? They bought them outright, and everything is just kind of consolidating, right? No big deal. There is no dilution. They just became a bigger company. They just grew. They just did what they're supposed to do. They're raising money. They're raising cash. They're getting bigger because they know once rate cuts start really happening, okay, this company is going to $30 a share. That's what they do. Right now it's at 17. Opportunity. I don't know, man. It's there. You just got to know when to strike, you got to know where you're going to place your flag, man, and say, this is where I'm at. You have to, you have to say, hey, man, these are my balls. Here they are. I believe in this stock. I believe in this company. I like, the fundamentals. I like the way they ran. I like the price point at this point, it's all good. Look at $55 cash secure puts, BMNR. Remember when I was telling people, hey, these are $14, $13? Right now, those are going for $8.80. Okay, $8.80. You would be upwards of like 30% right now. In days, not months. These expire 11/21. Okay, like a week ago, I was saying, you get 30-40% back in a week. What? That's just, what bank is going to give you that? All right, let's see here, my friends. GF Glass is saying, from what I read, GME1 options will have the warrants attached to them. If those options are assigned or exercised, the warrants go with them. A new standard GME option chain will open separate for GME1. Well, there it is. See? Cindy B, hey, Savage, training back at the beach. Will be 75 today in Michigan in October. That's global warming is a beautiful thing, right? But wait a minute, global warming, what are you talking about? It's snowing. It's snowing in the Sahara. Where is the global warming? No, I think it's great, man. Cindy, hey, live it up, man. That's awesome. Michigan is awesome. Fucking, great. Land of the Thousand Lakes, man. I love it. Have a ball. You're trading back at the beach. That's beautiful. Drink a couple of beers while you trade. Have some delicious food. Have some laughs. Take some selfies. Create some memories and make money while at it. What is wrong with that, guys? What is wrong with that? I see nothing wrong. You got a gentleman right now that just went to fucking Spain and he was out there living it up, trading, making money while he was probably eating at some fucking, Michelin star restaurant, drinking some delicious wine, eating some delicious friggin' ham, making money. What is wrong with that? Nothing. I see no problem. This is the greatest hack ever, my friends. You know that people say this is a hack. I know this hack. I know this hack. What better hack than to make money while you're sitting down eating? Yeah, it's just what you're sitting somewhere drinking a mai tai. You drink an old fashioned. You're drinking some champagne. You're drinking a mimosa. You beer. You know, you could be in Germany drinking fucking the strongest beer while eating a bratwurst and fucking. I just make $350. What? What? It's just crazy. You know, the possibilities are endless, my fellow simpletons. Endless, I say. Um, yeah. So thank you for that explanation, Jeff Glass. I appreciate it. Cindy B, live it up, man. I love it. I love reading that stuff, man. I'm gonna, you know what? Hold on. I'm going to pop that message up because I think it's awesome. There it is. Hey, Savage, trading back at the. Oh, can I move this? Oh, I can't move my screen, can I? Ooh, let me see here. CDB's turning 75, man. Oh wait, no, she said the temperature is going to be 35. I get it. So it's beautiful to see. Beautiful to see. There it is, man. That's wonderful. All right, let's restore the chart. Juan Velasquez saying Ontario. Wait. The value of the dollar has dropped at least twice as much as any interest GME is collecting on that 9 billion. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's just they're collecting, right? So the value of the dollar is dropping for Nvidia. The value of the dollar is dropping for fucking Tesla. Oh, speaking of Tesla, where are you people? You degenerate gamblers that decided to buy some $400 calls on Tesla. You guys, I saw in some chat rooms, you were like, oh, I'm going to buy some 400s. Tesla's going to 500 or 500s. Tesla's going to like 500. I don't know. I forget. Point is that Tesla went down like $80. Buy the rumor, sell the news, my friends. That's what it is. That's how it is. I told you Tesla is way overvalued. I told you guys, man, Tesla's overvalued. Nvidia's overvalued. Although Nvidia of these Max 7, it's the one that is trading at least multiples than the others. I get it. Still overvalued. I want it closer to 150. 150 would be great. And you go through a cash secure put. A 150, 145 cash secure put out 3-4 months. Bring in dollars, a lot of dollars to pay yourself for being kind enough to say to Nvidia, hey guys, I love your company. I like what we're about. I'm guaranteeing I'm going to buy your shares. Give me some money. There's nothing wrong with that, my friends. Juan Velasquez saying on TerraWolf, my average is 8 a share. Now it's at $12.45. It's $15. November 21st cover close. Good. You're making money, right? So it's $12.45. Go to December. 15 Decembers. I don't know what are they going for. Let's see. On TerraWolf. There is no December. Fuck it, go to January. January 15th, giving you 156 bucks. Not terrible. You want to play it close to the chest and go to $15 strikes and bring in $85, 84 for your troubles and writing some $15 calls. You can. You can write a 14 for 111, 112. Nothing wrong with that. You're making money. You bought at 8, right? And you're selling at 14, 15, pretty much doubling your money. You sell 15 for, over $1. It's $16 and change that you're selling for. You're 100%. You're doubling your money. What is wrong with that? Like, what bank is going to give you a 100% profit on your cash that you stash? Oh, you stash cash. It rhymes. Yeah, no. It's that's a good one. Whatever you want to do, my friend, I think it's great. Good morning, everybody. Saying Chevere. Susan Shops at Jeff Glass. Thanks for explaining. I must be thick. I don't understand. God, it's all good. You know what? It's all this jargon and stuff like that. Like, honestly, unless someone really, really sits down and explain it to you, it's, and the thing is that there's differences between one brokerage and the other, right? So it's all good. CKT still sitting on $50 cash secure put a BM&R folding my arms. It's all good. Make that money. They've been saying, Fidelity saying I have a margin call and owe $85,000. These warrants mess with their calculators. Uh-oh. Susan Shops, that's just what I've been gathered from the interwebs. It's clear to me, so I closed my positions the last couple of days since they were all in the profit. Yeah, no, I closed all my calls the day of earnings because I knew shenanigans. I just knew. I had made all my money on covered calls. And then I just kept the cash secure puts. I kept the cash secure puts, and then when we ran to like 28, 27 something on GME, I closed a $30 cash secure puts expiring in October, and then I just turned them into like $30 Januaries to bring in more money when we went down to like 26. So it's all good. It's all good. Giving myself more money, more premium, and more runway. Right. You should confident this morning your warrants will be separate ticker traded in the United Stock Exchange under the ticker. So Jeff Glass is saying, the man is saying, actually, I called Fidelity this morning, and your warrants will be a separate ticker. Yeah, I figured there'll be a separate ticker. They have to be on their ticker. We believe GME W. But brokers are all messed up because they adjusted option chains before warrants were delivered. He reassured me my 85,000 margin call is nothing to worry about. There's nothing to worry about until there's something to worry about. That's why I don't go on margin. Don't go on margin. Actually, I'm lying. I would be a liar if I told you I don't go on margin. Okay, I do go on margin, but I don't. I only go on margin to close cash secure puts when I'm like my money's like fucking in flux. And to close covered calls. And if I'm like, light on some cash, and then as soon as I, buy back those calls, I then write more covered calls out farther, lower strike, bringing in premium. And then for the cash secure puts, as soon as I buy my cash secure puts back, adjust the margin to nothing so that, now their margin's out within the day. So I don't pay any interest. So, and then I get out of margin like that. That's how I do it. I have given a thought to going on margin and maybe for like $100,000, on margin, and then doing some cash secure puts on stock like Nvidia when it drops, or maybe Tesla if it comes to like the 250s. And obviously I have that money, right? It's not like I don't have it. I would just, for shits and giggles, be like, let me go on margin and bring in 60%, 50% right now, right? And then adjust it, and then just be, instead of being out on margin for like 100,000, I'll be out on margin for like 50. and then just seeing, because of my cash secure puts, right? I wouldn't pay any interest, although I would be out in margin. So, I'm very curious to try that, but like again, just because so many people that I know have gotten in trouble going on margin, and just because you start seeing that money just and then you just you forget, and you don't take it seriously. You're like, oh, it's just my portfolio growing, and then shit happens and everything tanks, and then your margin call, and it's just like, I don't know. I don't know. I just rather not. I'd rather not. More making money on your suggestions: BMNR, BBAI, MARA, NNDM, QSI, QBT, Sound, RCAT, IonQ, Thanks, Savage, CDB. It's all good, man. It is all good. They're just suggestions. You're the one that's putting it to work. I'm just giving information that's available for everybody, right? This is not financial advice. This is just me telling you this is how I trade. This is my trades, and you guys can then look at your own trades. It's all good. The main saying that the guy that from Fidelity said that he was like the 5,000th call already, and I called at 8:15 a.m. Damn, yeah, they're busy. They gotta answer for those warrants. Dude is saying I use margin, but only in a controlled manner. I've learned to be very careful. Yeah, same here. I just do it to like get out of like covered calls and cash secure puts and automatically get out of it. A lot of people were panicking about the phantom margin call. I believe so. Yeah, I would be fucking tripping too if I saw out of nowhere, like, $50,000, $100,000 of margin. Like, what the fudge? Anyways, what did I want to show you guys? Oh yeah, just so you guys know, there's no jobs reports today. Why did I know that was going to happen? Well, yeah, we're at a stoppage, man. These guys just can't get their heads out of their friggin' asses and deal like adults. So we have no labor market news. There's no numbers, no jobs report. Those numbers are terrible. I think these guys thought that Trump was going to be like, oh no, we're shutting down the government. It's like they went right into what he wants to do, and which is like he wants to have less government. Well, let me rephrase that. He wants to have the appearance of less government, when in reality, government is controlling everything you do and everything you say, everything you're going to do, what you're allowed to do, and yeah, pretty dystopian, right? Kind of like if you guys see the Handmaid's Tale on Hulu, that's kind of where we're going, my friends. But again, hey, he's not even a Christian. He's saying he likes Jesus and he hugs the flag. So I guess it's okay. Freaking dummies. I don't get it. Oh, Jesus. Jump on the BMNR train this morning with 1031 $56 cash secure puts for 650, says Jeff Glass. That's cool. Why didn't you go to the third Friday of November though? November 21st. You would have got more premium, and the bid ask spreads they're easier to get out of. I'm imagining the ones in October 31st. I'm imagining those are probably farther apart than the ones for Friday, November the 21st. You could check on that though, but it's all good. I mean, look, you're basically getting BMNR for $49.50 if you get put those shares, right? I wrote a cash secure put on BMNR this morning. $55 strike, but except I went to January and I wrote in like 13 something. Beautiful, right? And then I used that money to like buy shares at market price and just start adding more. I want to get to 1,000 shares. That's the goal. I want to get to 1,000 shares of BMNR, and then you see what happens, man. Because I honestly do think that they are into something, right? They're onto something, and I think that Tom Lee is it's managing a well-run company. Um, I see the vision. Um, I didn't believe in crypto for a long time, and then finally I said, you know what? It's now backed by the government. It's now backed by the banks. The banks are in on it. We're gonna need treasuries, because companies are not, banks and such, right? They can't just go into the market and say, I want to buy, 20 Bitcoin, 30, 40 Bitcoin. They can't do that. They have to go through treasuries, right? And so if someone owns 5, 10% of the total of Ethereum, chances are everyone's going to go there, because they'll be like, why go here, 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 there, and perhaps get fleeced, right? When we can go to this treasury that we know is legit, this person is a serious business person, and these are the rates, and there's a lot there where we can grab from and do business, right? So I like the idea. I like the graphs that I see. I see where it's going, and it's just a matter of now, seeing if it pans out, right? So BMNR, I think it's going to be $100 a share, a lot faster than not. I think if everything goes according to the plan, right, and it never does, but it can get to $600 a share. So right now it's at a ridiculous discount, and if Ethereum goes to like 15,000 a share, per um, per Ethereum, right? Per ETH, per token. Um, yeah, it's very feasible, and no different than what MicroStrategy did, right? And so I like it. I like the premiums. I like the fact that I'm able to go and buy, a lot of shares with the premium I'm generating from cash secure puts. Um, at this point, I'm just trying to, get to 1,000 BMNR, and then in shares, and then move on, and then start adding more RKT, and then start adding more C3.ai. But I'm kind of like one track minded in a way. Like I just like to just do this, like still, I mean, I'm buying shares of RKT and C3.ai, but I'm that's like 10 shares, 15 shares. It's not like I usually like to go into 100 shares, 200 shares, and then go elsewhere, SoFi, 300 shares, 400 shares, and Unity, 100 shares, 200 shares, and so on, just adding and expanding the portfolio, right? But right now I'm a BMNR, and not just on my account, but like my wife's account and the retirement account, and and so just seeing, kind of like with Open Door. That's kind of how I did Open Door. Whenever I had some money, I would just be like 500 shares, 300 shares, 200 shares, and then it ran. So yeah, we'll see what happens, man. It's all speculation at the end of the day, my friends. Don't invest any money that you're not willing to lose, right? That's the number one thing when it comes to investing. Uh, let's see. I just tried to sell calls and I can't. Said Chevere, are you not able to write options anymore, Jimmy? So right now everything is settling. And I think that what I think is happening is that they're giving you so this information, right? But what I think is happening, Chevre, is that they are going to exercise a lot of those calls. I think that's what they're doing. They're exercising and they're seeing, you know, they probably started with the 25s, 24s, because I'm sure there's people that sold $20 covered calls when GME was $13, $14, right? And they're still in the money. I mean, they haven't been able to roll for whatever reasons. And then, they're doing those. They're going that way. They're kind of moving up the ladder, and they're probably exercising a lot of those because they have to come up with whatever amount of GME they said they have, right? And if they're synthetics, they really have to come up with those. So I think the way they're going to do it is through exercising a lot of calls that were in the money, and even some that were not in the money. So we'll see. We'll see. Let's see here. Jeff Blessing, I had too many expiries that were too far out. I don't trust this bubble, so I've been working on getting everything pulled in closer. Don't want to write more than a month out. Tasty trade is absolutely terrible. Can't place a trade on so many stocks. I just looked at BMNR option chain and it's set to closing only. So many stocks like that on this platform. Back to Schwab I go. Well, I honestly I think that the fact that GME is taking all of the attention. The man just told you. He called at 8:15 a.m. His brokerage, and they were like, "You're the fifth 5,000 call." Like they're diverting a lot of resources to GME today. So I'm guessing, and I'm just guessing here, right? They're putting kind of everything else on the back burner. They have to account for the shares. They have to account for the warrants. Today's the deadline. They are gonna burn the midnight oil, my friend. So very curious to see just how many of you are gonna get called. You're going to have your shares called away. I'm going to go live tomorrow for a little bit because I'm curious to see if any of you guys overnight got your shares taken away and, the money put in your account. Very curious. So tomorrow, maybe like around 11 a.m. California time, 11:30 a.m. California time, I may go live. If not, sometime in the afternoon, but I'll send guys an alert and you guys will see it. But yeah, I'm very curious to see what happens. Very, very curious. Austin saying Tasty Trade is absolutely terrible. And I don't use Tasty Trade. I don't know, but Schwab is pretty good. I've been dealing with Schwab all morning because I'm doing a lot of movements here and there. I closed a lot of covered calls, cash secure puts today on Robinhood, on Webull, on Schwab, especially like the ones, the QUBTs, and closing a lot of let's see, a lot of QUBTs. I closed a lot of TerraWolves. A lot of Archers. Let's see, I closed ASTS, some Riots, closed some Open Doors. There was one more. Let's see here. There was one more that I closed. QBTS. So, yeah, taking money off the table today. It's just whenever I see 30 or 40% return within the week, I don't have to wait another 2 months to get the rest. I close it, man. I just, because I don't know what's going to happen. Could the security keep moving upwards? Of course, absolutely. But that's cool because I have covered calls, right? And I can always roll those. And that's, if anything, it's what I've been doing. I also rolled. I rolled some TerraWolves. I rolled some. I rolled a BM and a couple of BMNRs. No, one BMNR from a $70 strike in November to a $100 strike in January, and they gave me $150. That's wild, man. I got paid to do that move. That's crazy. That's a $3,000 move. And I got paid $150 for that. That's crazy to me. But somebody out there is gambling, and they said, okay. Let's see. Austin saying Tasty Trade's absolutely terrible. Can't place trades on so many stocks. I just looked at BMR. CDB saying I bought back some BACQ. a little while ago. I think it's going to go up. There's an acquisition with Merlin Labs. They'll be developing AI-powered flight systems and defense aviation. BACQ, I'm not familiar with BACQ. Let's see. Bleichroder Acquisition Corp. I Class A ordinary shares. It's a blank check company. It's a SPAC. It's a SPAC. It's a SPAC, my friend. Hmm. There's an acquisition with Merlin Labs to develop AI-powered flight systems and defense aviation. Yeah. I'm going to put it on the to-watch list. How is that, my friend? We're going to put it on the to-watch list. Why not? You know, when you start seeing all these SPACs come out, um, and when you start seeing all these companies talk about buying back stock and all these other companies pretty much, you know, like NVIDIA buying Meta and like Tesla buying NVIDIA and Microsoft buying, you know, Intel and, you know, Intel buying NVIDIA and vice versa. It's like when you start seeing this, it's kind of your cue to be like, okay, nobody's really buying anything. It's just they are buying each other's shit. So why? I mean, Tesla just dropped like $60, $80 in like a day. Why? I don't. The cynic in me doesn't want to believe that we are, in fact, as great as we say we are. Due to St. Austin, Tasty trades are smaller companies, so they avoid a lot of hard to borrow stocks for reasons. I have multiple brokerages for a reason. For that reason, customer service is pretty high at Tasty. Worth calling the trading desk and requesting more service of those specific stocks you want to trade. Given how the fees are on Tasty. There it is. Somebody know I don't use Tasty Trade, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. Um, let's look at the map, my friends. This is what we're dealing with today. I don't know if you guys can see it. There it is. Look at that. That's where we're at, man. You guys see all that green? T-Mobile is down a bit, Virgin, NVIDIA's down tiny bit, Mrs. down a little tiny bit. Tesla's down a bit, RCL, PM, tobacco, but for the most part, you know, we see a lot of green. And I like that. I like that we're seeing a lot of green. You know, today I deployed some covered calls. And so just adding to the good old portfolio, my friends. Just adding to the good old portfolio, just not afraid to write some $25 SoFi cash secure puts expiring January, right? Not afraid at all. Unity cash secure puts. Unity's down almost 3%. I say if it gets down to $36 and change, don't be afraid to write some 35 cash secure puts out to January. RXRX is moving. I told you guys it would. The last week is up 20%. RXRX, just saying. I was telling you guys, $5 cash secure puts out to January, out to December. Out to December, we're giving I think over $1, and then out to January they will bring like 125, 120. I assure you those are worth less now. So hey, just saying, RXRX. I've been telling you guys, it's a great company. There's not too many shares in existence. Very hard to borrow that stock. Very hard to borrow. Float is very low. That's exactly what I look for when I go into like a stock, especially a company like that has contracts with some really, really big companies, heavy hitters, and they have the technology that these guys want. And they're able to do business with them and take in royalties. That's where the money is, the royalties. So RXRX is going to be $10 a share sooner rather than later. When do we know? I don't know. It could happen in a month, could happen in 10 months, but it's going to be $10 a share. Question is, do you have the patience, right? Warren Buffett says it best. He says, hey, the stock market is the one device that transfers wealth from the impatient to the patient, right? That's what it is. It's. I mean, it cannot be any simpler than that. You know. What do we have? The Wall Street Journal saying how smaller investors can join the IPO club. They're baiting you at this point, my friends. This is your cue, man. Thread lightly, my friends. Thread lightly. When these clowns start telling you, like Kramer saying that, you need to stop trading. Stop trading. You're not smart enough. Okay? We don't want you trading. If you're a retail investor, just buy the damn stock and hold it for 10 years. Do nothing. Just get richer. But it's like, what if I can make more money than that? Right? What if I could just hold the stock and they get paid to hold it? Right? What if I could get paid to buy the stock in the first place? Well, how do you do that, Savage? You get paid to buy a stock? That just makes no sense. Well, my friend, have you ever heard of cash secure puts? Meaning that you have collateral, which is the cash. You want a stock that's, say, for example, $10. It has to be a block of 100. So you're going to have $1,000 set aside for a stock that you like. The stock is at $11. So you're like, oh, I'm short $100. And you're like, wait, hold on. Or I'm like, wait, hold on. What if you were to buy the stock, wait for a red day, and then that stock goes to like 10.50 or whatnot, and then you say, hey, I want to buy the stock at 10 in a couple of months. And what if you got paid $150 to buy that stock at 10? And now what do? You get $1,000 placed into the account, your brokerage, and they hold it. Basically, you're on the hook for that company, which you wanted to buy when it was 11 anyways. So you're like, I want to buy it at 10, and you're getting paid $100 or $150 to buy those shares in a couple of months. What is wrong with that? Nothing wrong with that at all, my friend. And so that's what these guys don't want you to do. Heard on the street, the Wall Street Journal is saying open door hype won't make its business any more viable. Jesus Christ. Can you guys see this? I hope you guys can see it. Let me see if you guys can see it. All right, let's see. I'll stop sharing this one, and I'm going to share this other one. There it is. Open door hype won't make its business any more viable. The loss-making house flipper has become a meme stock. Sure it has, because it wasn't when it was 60 cents a share, right? Open Door, which is up 5.62%, is the digital home flipping outfit that somehow keeps clinging to life. Investors have rewarded its resilience by turning it into a meme stock. Or maybe it's just a good company that, was losing money because real estate was taking such a big hit. And now that, there's light at the end of the tunnel and that interest rates are coming down, they're going to start generating a lot of cash. And they have a new CEO that can see where it's going, and he's going to trim the fat. And they're already making money because, just the last month, we were told that we expected 550,000 new homes to be sold in the U.S., and we sold 800,000. So that's 250,000 more that were not accounted for. So that's where we're going. So, anyways, after languishing below a dollar for much of the year, Open Door shares are now around $8 a share, about 15 times as much as in mid 2025. The company now has a $6 billion stock market value after reporting annual losses every year since it was founded in 2014. It has routinely been among the most active stocks in the US by share volume. Individual investors, dubbed the Open Army, have rallied around the company and pushed for changes in leadership and strategy. Their efforts led to the departure of Kerry Wheeler as chief executive officer in August, the return of co-founder Keith Rebois and Eric Wu to the company board, and now the hiring of Shopify's chief operating officer Kaz Natajan as CEO. For all the recent excitement, a crucial problem remains. The economics of the house sweeping business don't scale. Expecting Open Door to figure them out now represents a triumph of hope over experience. Is it really though? With businesses that scale well, revenues increase much faster than cost, and each new customer adds more profit with relatively little extra effort or resources. Buying and selling homes for resale, however, is both labor and capital intensive. Open Door operates in some 50 markets, and local conditions vary widely from permits and inspections to the availability of workers and supplies. There is no one-size-fits-all system that works in all places. Nobody's saying there is. Zillow is the best known example of an iBuyer, short for instant buyer, that tried and failed. Well, they acquired Zillow, so I don't know what you're talking about. To make a go buying homes. Actually, no. Rocket acquired Zillow, I think, doing minor repairs and renovations and selling quickly. Zillow's algorithm for predicting housing prices failed spectacularly in 2021. What happened in 2021? Leading its Zillow offers business to overpay and sell at large losses. Even its best years, Zillow offers gross margins were thin and became swallowed many times by ordinary operating expenses. Before exiting Zillow offers, exiting Zillow offers in 2021, Zillow had already halted new purchases while it grappled with renovation backlogs and other operational bottlenecks. Extended holdings periods meant higher maintenance expenses, property taxes, and other costs that ate up margins. Zillow never could contain them, and volatility in home prices made the businesses unsustainable. In 2019, a year before the pandemic, Zillow's home flipping business posted a $50 million gross profit on $1.4 billion of revenue and had a non-standard metric scale called return on homes sold after interest expense that showed a loss of $22 million, or about $50,000 per home sold, or $5,000 per home sold. But in reality, the homes unit had $312 million pre-tax loss, equivalent to about $72,000 per home sold. The loss for its non-standard metric looks smaller, mainly because Zillow had excluded most of the business operating expenses. To that, I say the operating expenses for Open are actually a lot less. And now, because of having Zillow as an example of what not to do, I think that someone that used to work at Shopify and knows exactly how things, could work and has a mindset and has a vision on how he wants to run the business. They're acquiring, new products. They're going to come out with new products, and I think that it's to their benefit, that Zillow actually goes up in price, and they can dub it whatever they want, right? But at the end of the day, a stock is what a stock is, right? So that's where we are right now. You had clowns saying that GME was worth $13 a share. They're gone. GME's not $13 a share, right? You can't justify it being $13 a share, but you can make the argument. I bet you they're not looking at friggin' Palantir the same way. It's just stupid. It's very stupid to me. Tesla, same thing, overvalued. Let's see here. Cindy B saying his Archer is moving also. Cramy, buy, sell. Jude K is funny. Dude is saying Kramer, funny enough, runs or ran a shorting hedge fund, not mentioned as often as it should be. I wonder why that inverse Kramer index does so well. He's a clown. Jude K saying, agree, dude. Shivers, a market's crashing. Let's see, I hope so, because I got a lot of money on the sidelines. Let's see this crash. I mean, it's 1 o'clock. It's the 1 o'clock dump, right? Friday is expiry date. So I told you guys, man, look, SOXS was down to a 52-week low of 451 today. 450, 451. I told you guys, don't be afraid to go in and buy a few shares to hedge against all this fugazi, right? There's so much frothiness right now, and then everyone's telling you, oh my God, the market's at all-time highs, there's nothing wrong, when in fact there is so much wrong right now. People can't find jobs that are graduated with PhDs and masters and from very good and accredited universities. They can't find work. They can't even find entry-level jobs. Why? A lot of AI is doing that job. AI is doing a lot of those jobs now, right? It's gonna get tight. And what they were told, hey, go and take a $100,000, $150,000 loan so that you can go to school, kiddo, get that diploma, because you're gonna have a nice, well-paying job waiting for you when you come out. And they have no jobs right now. Moreover, people are getting unemployed left and right. They're becoming unemployed left and right. There's people that have been looking for jobs over 6 months. Higher, I think the number hasn't been higher or as high as that since like 2008, 2009. Same thing with like unemployment, right? And just people looking for work. I mean, it's crazy. And things are cost, you know, the prices of just things in general is a lot more expensive than it was by a lot in the last year or two, right? You have inflation that's up 20, 25, 30, 35% in some items on the year. That's crazy. There's some items at Costco that were $10 in 2021, 2020, 2019. Right now, those are like $19.99. That's a 100% increase. Are you kidding me? Have your wages gone up 100%? The national average wage, minimum wage, is $7.50 per hour, or $7.15, which is even more ridiculous, something like that. But it's just fucking crazy. Yet an average one-bedroom, apartment in the United States costs like $19.50, like $1,900 a month. This is not even talking about your light bill, your cell phone bill, gas and electric, just the apartment. If you work a full-time job, 40 hours a week, 160 hours a month, and you're getting paid minimum wage, right? You cannot afford working full-time. You cannot afford that one-bedroom apartment, even if you work full-time. That is fucking insane. Anyways, that's where we are, my friends. Don't get caught. Don't get caught. Just tread lightly. Just keep selling those covered calls, taking more premiums, taking a lot of premiums. If your average is $8, and the stock is at 10, 11, don't be afraid to sell some 11 covered calls out to November or December, bring in a lot of money. Don't be afraid to sell 12s. Don't get too greedy and try to ask for 20 in January, because probably not going to happen. I mean, we've already ran very hot, right? Now, can we get there? Of course we can. But you want to take more money now, because we don't know what next week holds, right? And it's just this situation with the government being shut down. We're going for a month easily, if not more, and it's going to be painful. But obviously, all these numbers that we expect from the government are not going to come down. They're not going to come out. I mean, because that's what they want. They don't want to tell you that the job numbers are absolutely horrendous. They don't want to tell you that that people can't afford, just basic necessities. They don't want to tell you that. They don't want to tell you that no jobs are being created because AI is taking a ridiculous amount. They don't want to tell you that. Anyways, it's been an hour and 40 minutes, my friends. I'm going to get going. But like I said, you guys, keep your eyes on the market, see how things are moving. If you see opportunity, take it. Your stock is running, 10, 15% today on the green. Sell some covered calls, bring in some cash, right? Get paid to hold the stock. If the stocks are, that you're looking at are down 10, 15%, sell a cash secure put. Sell a cash secure put and go out a month or two, go to November, bring in dollars into your account. Get paid to buy the stock. And then protect yourself to the downside, right? Like if the stock was, I don't know, $11 yesterday, today is $10. Go for a $9 cash secure put, go down one strike below, and then go out a couple of months and bring in money. Protecting yourself to the downside. Because if the stock keeps going down, right? Oh, well, then you get put those shares. Great, you got paid to buy the stock. There's nothing wrong with that, my friends. Anyways, thank you for watching, my fellow simpletons and degenerates. I wish you guys the best. Have a great day. Stay doing what you're doing. If you're trading, stay trading. Look for the opportunity and take advantage of it. And remember, give them nothing, man. Give them absolutely nothing. Bring in as much premium as possible, and don't get caught flat-footed with paralysis. If your stock is running 10, 15%, sell some covered calls, right? No stock is special. Remember, you're the landlord, right? You're the landlord. Your portfolio is a building, right? And the stocks are tenants. Tenants have to pay rent. It's not personal. You're just trying to come and knock the door and say, rent's due, motherfucker. Your rent's due, motherfucker. Pay some fucking money. You decide how much you want to charge this month. You'll be wary. We're in this territory that's kind of House of Cardish, right? So take as much money as you can. Sell some cash secure puts. Bring in some fat premiums. All right. Go Niners indeed, Chevrolet. We won yesterday, man. That was a beautiful game. Oh, it was like a spectacle of defense, man. It was just like beautiful defensive game. The way they stopped those guys, at the goal line. Oh my God, what a stuff! And on 4th and 1, these guys have been killing it with the pass. You got Mark Stafford, and they decide to run it. You could have just go at any point. You could have just gone, for a little pass. Right, just a little 3-4 yard pass. That's all you needed. Sweep play to the other side. Just a little dump. You have some pretty good receivers. You have a tight end. I mean, that's probably what they're going to need to get though. They need a legit tight end. Anyways, Niners won, baby. That's what it is, and we did it. With like all the starters and like offenses, like hurt. It was like the second stringers. It reminds me of the movie The Replacements. That's a great movie with Keanu Reeves. If you guys haven't seen The Replacements with Keanu Reeves, fucking see it. See it this weekend. It's a great movie, man. And Keanu Reeves, that guy's such a class act, man. That dude's just a good person. If you guys, man, there's some people that just want to like fake the funk and, but this guy, he's the real deal, man. Keanu Reeves is such a fucking awesome person. And it's just, down to earth and every movie he's in, man, he's so awesome. John Wick, God damn it, The Matrix. I remember the first movie that I saw, Bill and Ted. Oh my God. And then he was in Speed. And I was like, what the fuck? This is great. So, and then, he's done all these other movies, man. I saw With a Girlfriend back in the day, very long back in the day. The Walk in the Clouds. I was like, what? This guy doing romance now? It's a good movie. And then it's just, God, there's so many movies that he's done and worked on. But yeah, I'm a fan, man. Tom Cruise and Keanu Reeves are like two of my favorite actors. I like those guys, man. They make some really, really great movies. Like any Mission Impossible was pretty. I used to watch Mission Impossible as a kid, right? So it's like a thing. But like, God damn it, The Last Samurai is like probably my favorite movie. You know, with Tom Cruise. Anyways, guys, Fourth Avanza indeed did a quick little EBIT call flip for a $40 profit. That's my DGen of the day. It's all good, making money. As long as it's a very small part of your portfolio, it's all good. You can take a chance. Whenever you could, if it's not going to blow up your portfolio, and you do like a half a percentage point of what your total portfolio is, so like a 0.25%, and you want to be a little risky there, it's all good. Like I bought calls on some stuff, right? Like I'm gonna buy, if SoFi gets to $24, I'm gonna buy some calls out to 2027, and then just see what happens. If BM&R gets down to like 45, I'm gonna buy some calls. If Unity gets down to like $30, I'm buying some calls. So it's okay. It's just not. It's not what I really want to emphasize, right? I told you guys, if you guys sell a cash secure put and you bring another premium, and then use that premium to do more cash secure puts and something else, and then you bring in premium, that premium you can be a lot more cavalier with, right? You can go and buy some calls in some companies that you feel have been extremely, undervalued, and you want to buy some calls. Let's say Open Door or something like that went down to like $4, and you want to buy some $5 calls for like November or something like that. It's a very risky move. Of course, you're probably going to lose that money, but like I can see why. If like C3.ai goes back to $15 or $14, it's got no business there. But if it does, I'll buy some $20 calls out to like 2027. I just made like over $1,000 on some calls that I bought when it got hit to like $15, and I bought some $25 calls, expiring 2027. I just sold them this morning. I made like $1,500. What is wrong with that? Nothing. But I could have. If I would have lost that money, I would be okay with that, because it's such a small, minute part of my portfolio, right? That if I lost it, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. I mean, you lose 1,500, whatever I spent on them. You lose that money, which is like $700 or something, but you lose that money. Oh, well, I lost more money before doing stupid shit, but like in the grand scheme of things, I'm bringing a lot more money in, and that's the name of the game. As long as you make a lot more money than you're losing, you're winning. All right, my friends, you guys have a great day. I'm gonna walk now. I gotta do some push-ups and stuff like that, and do a little workout, and then I'm gonna get stuff ready for lunch, and then get ready for the day, man. You guys have a great day for the rest of the day, and hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow when I go on quickly to see how many people got put some shares in their account, or I'm sorry, how many people got their shares called away for GME. I'm very curious to see that, and we'll stay. We'll stay seeing what this market gives us. All right, fellow simpletons and degenerates, have a great day. I'll see you guys later. Have a good one, you knuckleheads. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.